A major figure from the national stage is joining the legal team for San Mateo County Sheriff Christina Corpus, who is suing each county supervisor to prevent them from firing her.
That hearing takes place tomorrow in San Francisco federal court, and I-Team reporter Dan Noyes is here with an interview you will see only on 7. Dan.
Alma and Dan, Tom Perez has a long history both in politics and the Department of Justice. And in the morning, he will appear in federal court on behalf of Sheriff Corpus.
When San Mateo County Sheriff Christina Corpus walks into San Francisco federal court tomorrow morning, she'll have a major addition to her legal team. Tom Perez worked as a civil rights prosecutor in the Department of Justice under Republican and Democratic administrations, headed the Civil Rights Division under President Obama, then became Labor Secretary, chairman of the Democratic National Committee for 4 years, senior advisor in the Biden White House, and director of its Office of Intergovernmental Affairs.
What about this case brings you, a national figure, into something so local between a board of supervisors and the sheriff?
Oh, there's a broader principle that is as old as the republic here. It's the principle of fairness.
Perez echoes the lawsuit Sheriff Christina Corpus has filed against each county supervisor, seeking a permanent injunction to stop them from removing her from office.
The 5-person board is the investigator, the prosecutor, the judge, the jury, and potentially the executioner in this case.
In the process set up by Measure A retired judge holds a hearing and issues a ruling, but the supervisors are not bound by that decision. Even if the judge finds in Corpus's favor, the supervisors could still fire her. Perez says supervisors Noelia Corzo and Ray Mueller have already shown bias.
2 out of the 5 supervisors have already said she's guilty. They are 2 of the 5 members of the jury. That is not right.
I approached the attorney for all 5 supervisors, Andrew Dawson, more than a week ago, explaining I was interviewing Tom Perez and that I wanted his perspective. He sent an email, quote, "I am in court and unavailable on Monday, July 28th. I will get back to you when I am able." He is not. The response he filed in federal court on behalf of the supervisors says, having lost in state court, plaintiff seeks a do-over here. But that is not a proper basis for federal jurisdiction, and plaintiff's forum shopping must be rejected. Dawson also says Corpus has not exhausted the administrative process, with the supervisor's multi-day hearing before the retired judge starting August 18th.
I am proud to represent her and be part of the team because there has been a rush to judgment.
Tom Perez tells me he sees movement in the case. The county has dropped its most salacious accusation that Sheriff Corpus and her chief of staff had a romantic relationship.
They threw that one against the wall, and it didn't stick because that dog doesn't hunt. And so now it's, well, you shouldn't hire someone that you are close with, that is a close friend. When you win, well, then there should be elected officials across the country who should be removed from office if they can't hire people they know.
Perez tells me this all began in a battle between the sheriff and the unions over overtime.
A number of officers were making literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in 1 year. You have to wonder, is the overtime system working? She was asking those questions. And, apparently some people didn't want those questions to be asked.
Public records show one deputy made $480,000 in overtime last year for a total $823,000 in pay and benefits. Others doubled their salary. Another deputy bringing home $411,000 pay and benefits. A sergeant, $632,000 total. Many of the deputies and higher-ups who supported her opponent in the election still work at the sheriff's department.
They lost the election in June of 2022, and they've never stopped fighting against her to bring her down. That's not fair.
Perez tells me the supervisors should drop their process to remove the sheriff under Measure A and allow the civil grand jury's case to play out. That could also result in Corpus leaving office. Perez also points out that the sheriff's detractors could have gone the route of a recall, which might have been simpler and perhaps cheaper. Dan and Alma.